Hello, everybody. I am Peter the Book Lover, and this is my top 100 books. These are my favorite books of all time, and let me talk about them. Hello, everybody. I am Peter the Book Lover, and I like to read a lot of books, and I finally put together my list of my top favorite 100 books. Now, this took a lot of reading to get to this list, and I'm glad that I finally put this list together. When I first started my YouTube channel, I that was one of my goals, and you know, I tried to put this list together before, but I was stretching a little bit by adding some books that really weren't truly my favorite. But this list, I have nothing but great books on this list, so I hope we can enjoy this together. I am Peter the Book Lover, and let's cover this. But before I get into the books, I want to thank everybody for being here. You're really awesome for giving me your time. I am very happy to have you here. You're awesome for being here. Thank you for coming by. Okay, let's start off with number 100. Number 100 is from 1957. This is written by Ayn Rand, and this is Atlas Shrugged. Now, this is a book about the railroad business, and this is a book that is written in another reality, like kind of like the futuristic book. But this was written in 1957, so it's a little bit dated because it's a long time ago they wrote this book. This is a very thick book, and this goes into the railroad business, and also they try to take over the world, the corporate world, and stop people from progressing with technology. They want to hold people back, and they want to work to get free technology. And yeah, this is a very interesting book. This has a part of this book to where there's like this hidden world, and it's pretty interesting on how you get to this hidden world, and then you finally meet John Galt. And one of the questions this book's asked is, who is John Galt? It's like a famous question, and as the book progresses, you get to learn who he is. And there's another interesting part about this book that I really digged is they were trying to dig a tunnel and try to run a train through a tunnel, but instead of using the electric train, they tried to go through it with a steam engine, and they tried to not do this, but they eventually, there was a guy on the train that really rushed them, and they went through the tunnel, and it was disastrous for them. This is a very long book, but this is a very interesting book. I really thought it was a cool book, and I highly recommend this one. Although it will take you some time to read it because it's over 1,000 pages. Okay, number 99 is from 1798. This is by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, and this is The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. And this is a poem that's about 30 pages long, and it's a very long poem, but it's a very interesting poem about a mariner that goes on a voyage, and on this voyage he winds up killing an albatross, and that puts a curse on his ship. Another thing that's cool about this book right here is that there is a song by Iron Maiden containing this poem, and they talk about this poem, and it's a great Iron Maiden song, and this is a great poem, very interesting poem, and I really love this, and it's one of my favorite poems, right up there with The Raven, because The Raven is, I think, my favorite poem, but this is probably my second favorite poem, and you could actually get this as a book by itself. So Rime of the Ancient Mariner is number 99. Now, the next one is 98, and that is a book that was written in 1867, and this is written by Leo Tolstoy, and this is the famous book War and Peace. Now, a lot of people would actually put this higher on their list, and I could see why, because this is a fantastic book, especially on the parts where they talk about the war and the fighting. And Neapolitan is in this book, and they talk about him quite a bit. And he is a character in this book. You get to hear him say lines and stuff. And this is about a Russian family that on how they live with the time of war and the time of peace. And it's a very interesting book. I thought this was a great book. It's a long book. It's about 1,200 pages long, and it's very interesting. But the reason why it's kind of low on my list, well, it's actually very low because this is number 98, is because there's a lot of philosophy, and the philosophy was okay, but it wasn't my favorite part of the book, and the ending wasn't my favorite part. It kind of ended in a not the most exciting way, and I wish the ending was a little bit more explosive, but it wasn't. It was kind of it was okay though. I did like this book, and it's on my list of my top 100. So, but there's a lot of people that would actually rate this higher that has read this. It's an excellent book, and I recommend it. Okay, the next book is number 97, and this is from 1962 by Ken Kesey, and this is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And this is a story about an insane asylum, and there is a guy that's not insane, that's actually in trouble with the law, that actually goes to the crazy house to get away from punishment and have an easier punishment. But in a lot of ways, he got a worse punishment by going to this crazy house. And this is a very interesting book. There is the narrator of this book is an Indian that spends a lot of the time of the book acting like he can't speak. But it turns out that he can speak, and it goes into his life. There's a great movie by Jack Nicholson, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That's an excellent movie. I highly recommend the movie, and I highly recommend the book. This book was fantastic. I enjoyed reading it, and it was a great time. Plus, the copy that I had, the one that I'm showing the picture of, it has a lot of interesting sketches in it, and I love the sketches, and it's a really cool book. I highly recommend this one. This one's not as long. This is about 250 pages, and I would recommend it. Okay, we're at number 96. This is from 1955. This is a book by Jack Finney, and this is the book called The Body Snatchers. Now, this is actually the story of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but it's just called The Body Snatchers. And this is a fantastic book. This, you could tell that it was written in 1955. It has that kind of style of writing. And this is about a 200-page book, but it's a very interesting book. And it matches the first Invasion of the Body Snatcher movie very closely. You know, this is a story where the aliens come to Earth and they take over your body, and then they have a pod that forms your body, and then you die and you disappear, and this pod takes over your body, and they try to take over the world. And this is a very, very good book. I really enjoyed this book a lot, so I highly recommend this. The Body Snatchers by Jack Finney. Awesome book. Okay, number 95. Now, this book, I'm probably going to put higher the next time I do this list. I kind of put this list together, and this is like my third or fourth time putting this list together. And some of these books might be higher, and this one will probably be higher. And once I read this book again, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a little bit higher. This is from 1959, and this is by Shirley Jackson, and this is The Haunting of Hill House. And this is a story of a group of 5 people, I believe. I haven't read this in a while, but I believe it's 4 or 5 people. I think 5 people. They go to this house. Well, it's 5 people because the wife shows up and a couple other people, maybe 6 people. go to this house, but there's like four people that go to this house, and then it's an experiment because they're trying to see if there's the paranormal really exists. And this house has a lot of creepy things going on in this house while they're in it. And this house is pretty tripped out. Now, there is a movie called The Haunting that's pretty close to this movie, although it's missing the part to where she's going through the town. Now, the best thing about this book I loved is the writing style. It's nice and easy to read. It's simple. I love the beginning to where she's trying to borrow the car and they're giving her an argument on getting the car. And this has some crazy things that happen in this story. Eleanor, her name gets written on a wall, and it kind of freaks her out very much. And there's a bunch of other psychological things that happen in this book. Now, a lot of people would definitely rate this higher because I've heard a lot of praise of this book, and I think it's a great book. So, The Haunting of Hill House, I highly recommend it. And once I do this list again, I'm pretty sure I'm going to put it quite a bit higher than 95. This definitely deserves a higher ranking. Okay, and number 94 is another book that deserves a higher ranking, but I got it here for right now. This is from 1967. This is from Ivor Levin. I believe I'm pronouncing his name right. And this is Rosemary's Baby. And this is a great story, great movie as well. And this is a story to where there's this new couple that moves in this apartment building, and they move right next to this eccentric couple, and it turns out they're devil worshippers, and they succeed in actually making this woman pregnant by Satan, and she has a baby by the devil. And this is a fantastic story. I love it. It's a great movie, and it's a great book. The book was fantastic. I love the writing style, and especially if you've actually seen this movie. Now, this is another book that I would definitely rate higher if I do this book again, because this is a fantastic book. I loved it. It's almost as good as The Omen, and if you've ever read The Omen, that's a fantastic book as well. Okay, now we're going to go to number 93, and this is from 1979. This is by the King of Horror, Stephen King. This is the first book of Stephen King. There are going to be more Stephen King books on this list because I really love Stephen King. He's a fantastic author. And this is a very good book. This is The Dead Zone. And what story is about is a guy that gets into an accident, and then he could predict futures when he touches you. This has a great movie connected to it with Christopher Walken. But if you watch the movie, you're going to like the movie, and the movie is great. It's a fantastic movie, but the book has a lot more details, and it's a lot more enjoyable. One interesting part about this story is there's a serial killer that he's helping them catch. This book is also connected to Cujo. So there's other books by Stephen King that are connected, but this is a fantastic book. I loved it. There is a part of this book to where there's a politician that turns to be very vile. So he finds out that he is going to be very dangerous, and he tries to assassinate this guy. And it's very interesting what happens. I don't want to give away too much, but The Dead Zone is a fantastic book. I believe it or not, a lot of people don't talk about this that much, but it is a fantastic Stephen King book, and I love it. Number 92 is from 1934, and this is written by P.L. Travers, and this is the story of Mary Poppins. And this is a children's book, but this is a very good children's book. This is about some children that need a nanny. So they put out an ad, and Mary Poppins comes along, and she answers the ad, and she is a fantastic nanny. She's got magical powers. She arrives on an umbrella that she can fly in the air with, and it's pretty incredible. There's a scene in this book to where they actually have humans go to the zoo, and they actually become encaged where the animals are free. And it's a very interesting part of this book, and I really loved it. There's another part where they talk about this cow that jumps over the moon, and a very there's quite a few interesting stories in this book, and I had a great time reading this. This is a wonderful children's book, and I highly recommend it. Mary Poppins. Okay. At number 91, this is going to be the last book I talk about in this video. This one's from 2002. This is by Neil Gaiman, and this is Coraline. And this is another one that's a great movie, and this is a fantastic book. This is a story about a girl that moves into a house with her parents, and her parents are very busy with work all the time, so they do not have a lot of time to give her attention, and she's very bored in this new house, and she's looking for something to do. She finds a door, and she wants to get in this door, so she has her mother help her find the key to this door, and she does, and the key handle has a button for a handle to turn the knob of the key. So she gets this key and opens the door, and it's brick at first. But later on, she opens the door, and it's a tunnel that leads to this other world. And in this other world, there's an alternate mother with buttons for her eyeballs. And her neighbors, they are in this world as well, but they have buttons over their eyes. And there's a child, not in the book though, but in the movie, there's a child that's over there with button eyes as well. And the movie and the book are a little bit different, but this is a fantastic movie. This mother in the alternate world is very creepy and very scary, and it's an excellent story. I really enjoyed it. The book that I have was in very bad condition when I got it, and after reading it, I could see why it was read so much, because it is a fantastic story, and if you have not read Coraline, I highly recommend that one. Okay, this is 100 through 91, and I've got more videos to make after this, but this is the first video of this. I'm going to be releasing this January 1st, so welcome to the new year. Happy New Year, and that's about it. Now, if you can, please like the video. Every like that I get means a lot to me, so I love those likes, and if you could give me it's free, so it won't cost you anything, so give me a thumbs up if you can. And if you have any comments, please let me know what you think in the video, in the comment section. I love to get comments, and I will answer all the comments. I'm pretty sure that I'm still at the point to where I can answer all the comments. And if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, can you please subscribe to the channel? That would really help me out a lot. I've got more videos coming. I release videos all the time, pretty much on Mondays and Thursdays. I try to release videos every Monday and Thursday. So come back and check out those videos, and if you can, subscribe, and that's about it. I am Peter the Book Lover. I want to thank you for coming by, and I will see you in the next video.